Hey guys, just real quick today, I want to explore a really common response when faced with a challenge that is actually quite damaging and potentially destructive. And it's one that we have all tried before, and I think it's quite important that we look at why it's not going to be very helpful and what we can do instead. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Maddy. Hit the subscribe button so that you are always aware when I release new videos. These videos are full of the tips and tricks and strategies that I use, that I teach in order to help you live your best life. And today we are looking at, as I say, this really common response to a problem that we face. And actually, it's a really common piece of advice to give other people. So let's look at what the problem with this actually is. And what I'm talking about today is positive thinking. So what's so bad about that? Positive thinking, look on the bright side. Absolutely. All right, we do actually have to address the fact that positive thinking can be damaging when you are trying to push towards a goal or when you are trying to work towards your most meaningful life. What I mean here is that when you are faced with a problem, which we're all going to be faced with at multiple times throughout our life, if not multiple times throughout the day, right? We're constantly having to navigate issues, dilemmas, distractions, relationship issues. You know, there's always going to be something that we've got to navigate. If we take the advice that we're so often given, that you've probably been given since you were a kid, of thinking positively, then we're missing the opportunity to actually grow. We are also preventing ourselves from achieving many of those goals that we're going after. This was really clearly illustrated in a study that was done of people who had undergone a hip replacement. And in this study, the patients were asked to write down each day what their goals were for their recovery for that day. And the people who wrote down those goals, but also wrote down the things that they were going to find tricky when they went out to pursue those goals that day for their recovery, were far more likely to achieve their goals and also ended up recovering more quickly. Now, this has been borne out, certainly in my experience working with high achieving athletes and also the incredible ambitious people like you that I work with on a daily basis. When you have goals set out, and of course we know how important it is to write down our goals so that they are clear. And if you don't know, please check out some of my other resources on creating clear and functioning goals. When we write those goals out, we know that we are more likely to achieve them. However, if we just at that point then think positively about achieving them, if something comes up along the way that throws us off course, or that we haven't anticipated, or that we have anticipated but haven't adequately prepared for, we may get stuck at that point. And then we will have a harder time revving our engines back up again to continue pursuing that goal. So instead, here's what I want you to do. When you are facing your day, when you are looking at what you want to accomplish in the day, make sure you are also considering what is going to stand in your way to achieve those things. And we can be talking about just small to-do list type things, as well as our bigger picture goals. If you spend the time considering why you might not achieve those goals or those tasks or take those things off your to-do list, and then put in place things to counteract those interferences, you are far more likely to achieve those goals, but also you will be entering into your day with confidence because you sit with the knowledge that you've accounted for the kinds of things that are going to come up. Now, to be clear, this is not necessarily just the things that come up externally. If you know that you are particularly resistant to a certain kind of goal, or you have identified a pattern within you that means you're less likely to rise to a particular challenge, or you know you're going to find an excuse not to do a certain thing, by calling it out before you set off, you are empowering yourself to make the choice to commit to the goal anyway. You're kind of going, I see you, I see this potential problem, and I'm not going to let it derail me. So when we are heading forward, don't let yourself gloss over with positive thinking. Of course, we want to think that everything is going to work out just fine, and that can bring real comfort. And I'm certainly not saying that we want to prepare for every single disaster, because then we just operate from a place of fear. But if you are able to, with a cool head, look at what could potentially stop you from achieving what you've set out to achieve in any given day, in any given week, in any given year, then you are equipping yourself with knowledge and with insight and with anticipation of what is to come. And then you can adequately prepare yourself to fight the good fight. So I hope that's been useful today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and do check out the description box below, where I have put in some links for some amazing free resources. I'd recommend today the Pattern Breaker Masterclass. That's going to help you identify any patterns that are coming up that are stopping you from achieving those goals. And like always, all of those resources are completely free. So check it out, and I'll see you again soon.